Let's check out the absolutely amazing Redmi 15. On this bad boy, not only we get absolutely massive internal battery, also a very decent CPU, and generally actually very decent specs overall for the price. So for this version with 8GB of RAM and 256GB storage, I literally paid only a bit over $100, which is absolutely insane. If you also want to get this phone for a similar price, simply check out the special discount links and extra coupons I'll leave in the description, so you can use a discount link plus the coupons I'll leave to essentially bring the price down even a bit below like $100 or euros. For this price, it's totally unbeatable. So let's check out everything we get. We also get a little decent packaging here. Okay, your accessories and also our phone. Here is all the spec. And also we get actually quite general selection of accessories. First your SIM ejector pin over here. Also your Type-C charger cable. Unfortunately inside the box we do not get the charger itself. Also a bunch of manuals here. You can see basically the specs rated by European standards here. You see the battery life is absolutely insane. And best of all, we even get a free case as well with this phone. And the case quality is actually very impressive on this, and it feels very premium indeed. And over here we have the Titan Grey version, which in my opinion looks absolutely amazing. So as you see, it looks absolutely high-end. So very nice camera design here. Also the button quality is also actually very decent on this phone, and also the volume buttons are also very decent here. So on the bottom we have our Type-C, speaker and microphone here as well. And on this side of the phone we also have our SIM card slot, so let's pop it out. As you see, we also have very decent seals for the water protection here as well. And we have space for either 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM card plus 1 memory card, which is absolutely insane. So we can easily expand our storage basically on this phone even further. So also what's absolutely awesome, on this phone we even have free screen protector already applied by default. I'm not sure if you can see, but yep, they even include the free screen protector already applied, which is absolutely awesome. On this phone we also get absolutely massive 6.9-inch display, and the phone generally, yep, is a proper big boy indeed. When it comes to display quality, for the price it's actually very decent. So you see we also have very nice hole punch design for the selfie camera. The bezels obviously are quite chunky on this phone, but again, so yeah, for the price I really can't complain much. And yeah, overall when it comes to style and design, I mean, this phone looks absolutely stunning indeed. So definitely it looks way more expensive than it actually really is. And yeah, generally the build quality overall of the phone actually appears very decent as well. So you can probably easily bash it around without much worry about it. Also, what's absolutely crazy, on this phone we even have 144Hz refresh rate display, which is absolutely insane at this price. Also the resolution and protection also is actually very decent on this phone. On this phone, however, we get IPS display. If you pay basically a bit more for some other Xiaomi phones, some of them even come with AMOLED display. So again, this is only IPS display, but still it's actually fairly decent display. If we compare it side by side with its closest competitor, the Samsung A17, then the display definitely on the Samsung actually looks better. So it's more vibrant, punchier, and yeah, the color definitely, when you're watching some movies, definitely on the Samsung actually appear better. But still, for this price, I'm actually not complaining. The display is actually still very decent. Again, very smooth. And yeah, overall I think the display for maybe watching some movies or playing some games is absolutely excellent due to the absolutely massive size. So if we compare to maybe other phones, so this Samsung S25, so you can see just how absolutely massive this phone is and how absolutely massive the display is. So personally, I find it actually a bit even too large for me in daily usage, especially to grip this way. I do not have small hands. I even have like fairly large hands, but even for me, yeah, it's not the most comfortable phone to hold. So when it comes to bezels, if you compare to a flagship phone, so this costs like maybe like 6 or 7 times more than this one. Obviously, yeah, the bezels are kind of very thick on this one, but again, for this price, you probably can't complain. Yeah, for watching movies, playing some games, the display, yeah, top notch. Also, when it comes to performance, this phone also is actually fairly decent. In fact, it's actually better than I thought it will be. First, if we check the benchmarks here, obviously they aren't the most impressive here, so if you know this stuff. But if you get this 8GB version, which I have over here, the phone actually feels very snappy for most everyday tasks, and generally it doesn't feel like a slow phone at all, even though it's probably one of the cheapest phones you can get in the market, really. So when you're simply browsing something, as you see, it's actually mega responsive. Everything works very fast on this phone. So for basic tasks, really, are you seeing any problem here? So I'm not actually seeing any problem whatsoever with this phone when it comes to performance. So yeah, also for example, like browsing websites, as you see, it actually does everything here very well. So definitely, I think this is one of the most powerful, actually super budget phones, essentially. Also, if you get the 5G version of the Redmi 15, it even has got even more powerful CPU than this one. So if you want even more performance, simply get the 5G version. In the single score, I think it's almost double for the 5G. So again, this is a regular 4G. So for the 5G, I think the single score is like 1000. So 2 times more essentially, so that is even more powerful than this one. But again, if you get, yeah, basically this variant I have over here, I'm not really seeing any problem whatsoever when we are talking about opening some apps, browsing websites, doing some basic stuff. Obviously, if you try to play some extremely heavy games, that's where you will see the difference, but for everyday tasks, still actually very decent phone. And also for gaming, I think the phone also is absolutely great. So when it comes to performance, I think it can play most mid-range games without much problems, as you can see over here. Also, obviously, the display, yeah, is absolutely awesome on this phone. So essentially, it's like a mini tablet, essentially. So the gaming experience, yeah, on this large screen really is totally unmatched. And also the thermal performance on this phone also is actually very decent. So let's check it. So indoors currently I have maybe like 14 degrees. If we check the phone, maybe extra like 6 or 7 degrees at the hottest place. So yeah, thermal performance also is absolutely excellent. On this phone we're also getting 50 megapixel main camera, and when it comes to pictures and videos we can actually get from this phone, first, if you have like decent enough light, you can actually get fairly decent results here. So as long as you have like decent light, so there's actually fairly decent amount of details in the pictures. When it comes to the video recording, we are stuck at only Full HD recording, so we can't record 4K obviously with this phone. But yeah, we really have to consider the price of this phone. If we compare the camera quality of this Xiaomi phone versus maybe some other Xiaomi phones that are even maybe a bit more expensive, then they would be pretty much the same, I would say. So generally, when it comes to all budget phones, Xiaomi doesn't really have the best cameras. I would say if you are looking for the best camera in a budget phone, simply get the Samsung A17. If we compare these side by side, then the A17 actually has got significantly better camera in my opinion. Also, the low light performance of this camera also is, in my opinion, quite pathetic. So again, if you don't have the perfect light, basically, yeah, it really struggles. Also, the footage is often very grainy. So next, simply let me show you some samples. Oh, also one more negative thing about this camera is we actually do not have any stabilization whatsoever. So the video essentially is a bit shaky essentially. Again, on the A17 we also get a very decent optical stabilization. So when you compare these side by side, the stabilization on this is like literally 50 times better than on this one. And now I'm recording this video using the Redmi 15 camera. So you can see for yourself how it actually performs. Let's check for fine details. But yeah, as you see, as I'm walking around, there's pretty much zero stabilization. Again, fine details. And also let's try to run a bit. And again. So see, yeah, quite shaky indeed. And now let's check out how it looks like when we are recording in the same setup I have. So previously I was recording using my Google Pixel phone. And this is what I use to maybe record like 95% of my videos. So you can see how this super budget phones compared to like literally 7 times more expensive flagship phone. Also autofocus also appears fairly decent here. And yeah, generally as long as you have good enough light for basic stuff, probably acceptable. So as you saw, the camera on the Redmi 15, if you simply need it for basic stuff, is actually fairly decent indeed, especially if you have good enough light. When it comes to negatives, yep, basically if you do not have any stabilization whatsoever. Also, the front-facing camera also is fairly decent for video calls and stuff like that. And probably my favorite thing on this phone actually is an absolutely insanely large battery. So we get 7000 mAh battery on this phone, which is absolutely insane. And after using this phone for a while, this battery, yeah, totally delivers actually. And it's probably the best phone I have seen basically and use it when it comes to the battery life. So if we check the official specs basically, and also basically compare with other phones. So previously, when someone was asking me which phone to get if you want the best battery life, I simply suggested to people get one of the Samsung A series budget phones, so maybe the A17, A26 and stuff like that. Essentially, those usually have the best battery life. So for example, on the A17 we get 5000 mAh, so but on this one 7000 mAh. So again, massive jump. So for example, if we compare these numbers here, so literally maybe like around like 50% better. Also, when it comes to battery life, I briefly compared both these phones side by side. So first I did simply like a web browsing test where I was watching some YouTube videos in background looping. So essentially, so in 75 minutes of watching YouTube videos, it consumed only 7%, which is absolutely insane. Yeah, absolutely insane, a good result. So while at the same time, basically in the same time, this Samsung A17 consumed 15%. So that also means the CPU is way more efficient on the Xiaomi phone than on the Samsung as well. So again, not only the battery capacity is extremely large on this phone, but also the CPU performance and the efficiency also is very good on this phone. When it comes to gaming, so 60 minutes of like Subway Surfers game consumed 9%. So yeah, absolutely insanely good result. On the A17 again, much larger consumption essentially. So this one again has got 5000 mAh. So yeah, battery life when it comes to all phones, I think this easily has the best battery life out of any phone. So yeah, absolute battery champion. And overall, is the Redmi 15 actually worth it, and should you maybe get this phone? Well, yep, I think this is easily the best budget phone you can currently get, so ultra budget phone. So at this price, really no other phone can actually beat it. So yeah, we get really best battery life probably out of any phone. Also the massive display is absolutely awesome if you simply want to game on it, watch some videos or stuff like that. Also again, it's very reasonably fast as well, so again actually way better than I thought it will be. So it's very snappy. Also again that 144 Hz display, which again makes the phone very smooth. So again, when it comes to price, I think it's totally unbeatable. So personally, I got mine from AliExpress and actually paid only right around $100 for mine, which is absolutely insane considering what we are getting. By the way, also, if you want to get it for the cheapest price possible, simply check out the special discount links I leave in the description. So currently, so you see, right around €100 or dollars, but also I'll include some extra coupons you can use on AliExpress, combine with this price and bring it down even further. So currently, if you combine those coupons, it can be purchased for around like $90 or euros. So for this price, really no other phone can actually come close to this phone when we consider the absolutely insanely good battery life, also the absolutely massive display, very decent performance, and also very good build quality overall as well. So for this price, really, yeah, absolutely insane how they can actually deliver this phone. So yeah, simply check out those special discount links if you want to get it for the cheapest price possible. Anyway, good luck.